If you've attended one of our ABC workshops, you may have a plan like this. But how do you turn that into a Canvas course? In this video, I'll show you how to use your module plan to create a Canvas course structure. On the screen you can see my planning page on the left-hand side and my Canvas course on the right-hand side. I've got quite a lot to do in my Canvas course. I haven't started my welcome page or added any content, but I'm going to show you how you can use your planning page to help you structure your Canvas course. So the first thing I'm going to do in my Canvas course is go to the modules area. I'm going to add content and rename things in my module area so that it reflects the structure I've created on my planning page. So the first thing I want to do is to make sure that the names of the weeks or the sections that you've created, if you haven't used a weekly structure, are reflected on my Canvas course. For week 1, my title is Generations. So I'm going to add this into the information for the Canvas course, and I do that by clicking the 3 dots beside where it says week 1, click edit, and I can add this into the text. And I'll do the same thing for week 2. And the same thing for week 3. If I have created more weekly sections in my plan, I can add them in here, and all I need to do is to click plus module and add in the name of the other weekly section or topic that you've created in your planning page. So we have created our structure and the titles of each week. Now we're going to add some content to each of those weekly sections to reflect what we have in our plan. So when I look at week 1, I can see that first of all I have an acquisition activity where students have to do a certain amount of reading. Then we have an investigation activity where students are being asked to go off and find out some information in a particular topic. They post what they find out from the investigation activity into a discussion forum. We then have a live session and we're going to discuss some of the themes that came up during the week. And finally, there's a collaboration activity which takes the form of a group discussion. So in Canvas, I'm going to create a placeholder for each one of these activities, but the first thing I want to add is a page where I can give students an overview of what they're going to do in the week. And I will do that by adding a Canvas page. So to add content to a week, I click the plus button beside week 1. I'm then asked what sort of content do I want to add, and if I click the drop down menu, I'm going to choose page. I click new page, we haven't created it yet, and I'll call this overview for week 1. So the overview is going to give students a sense of exactly what they're going to cover in that week, but I also want to create a page for the first acquisition activity. So I will click plus. I will add a new page. And this one I'm going to call Readings and Articles for week 1. The next task is an investigation. I want students to go off and look through a range of digital sources and compare and contrast the articles that they find. And I could put up another page that gives the instructions for this exercise. But if I look at the next activity, I can see that students are going to be asked to post up their responses to the investigation activity in a discussion forum. So actually, I think what I can do is I can create a discussion forum And in the discussion forum, I can put up the instructions for the investigation activity. So I'm going to click plus. I'm going to add a discussion forum. I'm going to click on new topic because we haven't created it yet. And I'm going to call this Week 1 Investigation Activity. After the students have posted up their responses to the investigation activity, we're going to hold a live MS Teams meeting. And what I want to do is to create some information for the students that will just tell them when the meeting is taking place and give them the link for the meeting as well. So I'm going to create a Canvas page that is just going to hold that sort of information about the live Teams meeting. So again, I click plus, I choose page. I'm going to call it Week 1 Tutorial and click Add Item. And the final task in week 1 is another discussion forum. This time it's a group discussion, and we're going to use a discussion forum in Canvas for this activity. So once again, I click plus. I choose from the drop-down list discussion. I'm going to call it Week 1 Digital Natives, Fact or Fiction. So I have now created my placeholders, my structure for week 1. There's nothing really in here at the moment, but at least we're starting to build some information about what each week will hold for the students. And I'm going to continue and do that for week 2. So now you can see that we're starting to create a structure for our Canvas course, and this kind of structure is going to help students be able to access and find the information that they need. Obviously though, we've only created placeholders. If I click on any of these items, there's nothing there. So to add the content, I have to go into each one of these, click Edit, and add in the information that I want to put in. And many of you have already created overview pages or put in links to readings, so we'll not go over that here, but we will show you how you can add in links to a live Teams meeting, because many of you may need to do this. So what I'm going to do is to click on this page that is called Week 1 Live Tutorial, and I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to add in some information, first of all, about when the tutorial is taking place. Now, I want to add in a link here that will take students directly to the Teams meeting. And how I can do that is, there's a couple of different ways, but I need to open up Teams first of all. And in here, I'm going to go to my calendar. And I've already set up this tutorial in my calendar. So I'll go to September. And here's my week 1 tutorial. If you hadn't set up your meeting already, you can click New Meeting here and create it that way. So if I click on my week 1 tutorial, I can see the information, but here I can see Join Microsoft Teams Meeting. And this information I'm going to copy. This contains the link to the Teams meeting, and I want to put that into my Canvas page. So back in my Canvas page, I can just paste in the information that will allow students to access the Teams meeting. And because this is a Canvas page, I can add in some more information that for the students. So, for example, maybe I want them to read a certain article before they come to the meeting. I can add that in here. And I can save this page. So here we have the information for the students about when the tutorial is taking place, how they get access to the tutorial itself, and any other information that they need or that they need to prepare for the tutorial. So after some time, you'll be able to add in content to the Canvas structure. And I'm showing you here the student view of the modules page, and you can see it's very clear what each student needs to do for that week. And if we work through from the overview, we can check our objectives for the week, the readings for the week, and any activities that we want the students to participate in. And they can ensure that they have done everything that is expected of them for that particular week.